Hey ladies, DeLonda here of Girl Rest with your Rescription. Look, Matthew 26:41 tells us, "Watch and pray, lest you enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." Therefore, we must pray because there's something lurking. We're still on prayer in these episodes, and yes, again, I'll say it again. Pray because there's something lurking, and sin is lurking to get you, to catch you, to put you in bondage, to grab a hold of you and lock on hard. When we look out there, we seeing that sin, people say lock in. Well, I'm telling you, sin is locking in real hard on many. And we don't want the same to be for us. We don't want that to be the case for us. And so even in my bestie group, we were having a small conversation, or I was having a conversation with one of the women, and we were just talking about how, hey, we got to pull away from social media because it's making us angry. It's making us say things out the side of our neck because of what we're seeing and what we're witnessing. And it's like, just pull on up and pull on out and log off, because it is not worth it. It is not worth it. This is why we must watch and pray, because we get angry, and we can be angry, but we shouldn't be sinning in it. But the moment we start to we continue to look at stuff, and we continue to fix our minds on earthly things, then those things are gonna make us angry at times, and it's going to cause us to speak and say things that we should not be saying, to think things that we should not be thinking, and it's going to cause us to do things that we shouldn't be doing. Like, we just can't help ourselves to just comment on that post. We got to comment. We got to say something. We have to make our opinion be known, and sometimes those opinions are not godly. Sometimes those opinions are straight up conceived out of the flesh, and so we have to be careful. That's why I love the Lord's Prayer, y'all, because the Lord's Prayer, part of that prayer says, "Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil." That prayer includes everything. Every day we need to be praying that we are not led into temptation and that we are delivered from evil, because it's out there, and all of these things are placed out there, are orchestrated in order to get our minds off of Jesus. And what did we just talk about? Those whose minds are stayed on the peace of God are for those whose mind is stayed on Christ. Y'all, I'm thinking fast, so I know I probably butchered that up, but you understand what I'm saying in Isaiah 26:3. And so, when our minds are not stayed on Christ, when our minds are stayed on what's happening on TikTok and what's happening on all the other social media accounts, or what's happening in the news, or on the Netflix and whatever it is, when our minds constantly stay on those things, it is hard not to fall into temptation. It is hard not to let our flesh carry us to a place that it does not need to be carried to. That's why we always need to be walking in the Spirit, so that we can produce the fruits of the Spirit. And that is how we're going to live in God's rest. That is how we're going to continue to have God's rest, His peace, His freedom, and be unbothered. That's what peace, that's one of the synonyms of peace, being unbothered. And I know I've said that before, but I love it, because we need to be more unbothered about what is going on. Yes, we see it. Yes, it is ugly. Yes, it's sad, and there's a lot of grief that's going on. But we have to continuously turn to the Lord and seek his guidance on all these things, because we ain't made to be concerned about every little thing that goes on out there. We cannot handle it, and we were not made to handle it. So that's why we need to pull away more so that we won't be tempted, because sin is lurking and is ready to pounce down on you like a tiger, like a lion, like anything that pounces. It is ready to pounce, to eat you up. So don't keep falling for the okie doke. Don't keep falling for the things. No, girl, get your rest meter on and know that let me get away from this, because I know my mind, that ain't how I'm supposed to be thinking. That's not how I need to be feeling, and I need to take these feelings to the Lord so I can get them sorted out, so that I can get help at his throne of grace, so that I can get my heart right, so I won't be carrying this muddy heart out into the world and tainting everyone else with it. So, ladies, continue to pray, because sin is lurking at the door. And I know our flesh can get weak, but in him we are made strong. And we can say no to all the ungodliness that is out there, all the ungodliness that is in us, so that we can constantly evaluate ourselves and our motives and our heart, and constantly get it right with the Lord. Amen. God bless y'all. Bye.